Bad Ideas production, and today let's talk about Stephen King's Pet Sematary, directed by Mary Lambert. Now, I just watched this movie for the first time in its entirety, as I've only seen parts of it when I was a young little lad. Oh, and spoilers, by the way. All I knew going into this movie was that a little boy died and then got buried in the titular pet cemetery, which happens to be a sacred Indian ground gone sour that revives whatever is buried there. And like the Lazarus pit, what comes out isn't entirely the same person. That is the extent to what I knew about this movie. The thing was that I expected this to be the inciting event that kicked off the story, but to my surprise, that does not happen till halfway through the movie. Let's break down a little bit. The first half of the movie is dedicated to understanding the rules of the pet cemetery, as well as getting to know the family, which consists of Louis, the husband, Rachel, the wife, and their daughter, Ellie, and her cat. We also meet the neighbor, Judd, who has a great accent.
There's that damn road.
Don't even know what that is. Before the inevitable kid's death, we actually stay with the family a little bit and we have some fun moments. And then we learn that the husband is hated by his in-laws, which comes to play a little later. Not in the most grandest way, but in a very interesting way. We see Lewis at work and learn how the pet cemetery works, as at one point Lewis is left alone during Thanksgiving when the family just leaves him alone while they go to the mom's parents. And when this happens, the cat ends up dying, and then we're told by Gus that they, instead of letting his daughter grieve and be sad when she comes back, he should follow him and bury the cat where the actual Indian ground is at. Obviously, the cat rises, but with a bit of a tude. More cute moments with him and his family, which makes this scene super, super sad and upsetting. But the real fun happens after this scene. Well, a little later, because they still gotta grieve a bit, and they gotta get socked out by the in-law, which is what I'm saying, that it comes back because the in-law reminds Rachel that he always said that he hated Lewis, and that there will always be grief in his family, and it's coming to fruition as the son has died now. Once the wife and the kid leaves the husband alone is when all the fun starts to happen. We get to my favorite scene, and I love grave robbing scenes. Just look at the joy in this man's face as he escapes the police. It's my dream to write a really good grave robbing scene, and I can't explain why. Maybe it's just my one weird piece of me. All the while this is going down, we have a super creepy, probably the most creepiest scene in the movie, where the wife is headed home to her husband because he's been acting weird and he's not answering the telephone. So she makes her way back to the house, and while she's in the plane, she has a vision of her sister Zelda, which earlier she relives watching her die as her shitty parents left her in charge one night. It's so scary, and shows the trauma that lives within the wife, as she's still petrified of her dead sister, believing that she's not dead, and is haunted by her memory, which is captured perfectly in the scene. Now, having successfully buried his son for the last time, Lois goes to sleep. But as he does, Gage has awoken and has killed Judd and his mom, Rachel. Lewis gets a call from Gage the following morning that reminds me a lot of the Green Goblin's very famous line in Spider-Man 1.
Can Spider-Man come out to play?
It's super cute and terrifying. I love the little fight that Lewis has with his son. It's so sad and tragic, as he brought this onto himself. Gus told him never to do that, and even gave him a story warning him that what comes back isn't his son. It's going to be something else entirely. Lewis finally stops Gage sedating him, and Gage has the best last lines ever when he's just saying no fair. And then after this, Lewis burns down the house, presumably with Gage still in there, and then proceeds to not learn his lesson and takes Rachel with him, ready to bury her, even though still being warned not to do so by Pascal, which is this dude right here. Then we get such a metal ending where Rachel comes back alive, and she looks horrific, but that doesn't stop Lewis from kissing her. Like, look at all those juices coming out of her face. Then she kills him, and the movie ends. There's this haunted atmosphere that seems very dreadful yet playful throughout the movie, mostly because of the score, which I did love. As is always present with a King's story, the characters are great and distinct with their own unique backstory that adds to the overall plot. From the future seeing daughter to the fair warning ghost of Pascal, each character serves something different to the story in ways I just didn't expect. For example, the ghost Pascal is always trying to help the doctor, as he tried to save his life before he inevitably died, and Pascal feels like he owes him. So throughout the whole movie, he's constantly helping either Rachel or the husband not do anything bad. This is such a fun twist of a ghostly figure in a story, as usually ghosts want to hurt or haunt you in horror stories. Rarely do they want to help you. I really like this movie, but it does take a while to get started. But that's really my fault for having misleading expectations. As like I said before, I thought the inciting incident would be the child's death. It wouldn't, I didn't think it was gonna happen midway through the movie. I didn't know this movie would cover trauma and desperation like it did, and I'm all for it. I also expected it to be dealing with the little dead boy for much longer, as it has all the 80s vibes you love to see, and it has some really funny ADR and some great line delivery that feels unique to its time period. It's unfortunate that this magic has never been replicated again, and the sequels aren't very good, as there's so much potential for more story. We could possibly follow the daughter in a sequel and how she deals with this, maybe even going back to the pet cemetery, or we can go back in time to when the Indians made the pet cemetery right before the ground got sour. We can see that inevitable turn happen in real time. I'm just saying there's lots to be done here and it's been squandered. But in all fairness, I have not seen the sequels. I just heard they're trash. Anyways, peace out. Bad Ideas Production.